There's no stopping Bitcoin right now. We have seen another breakout here, which is absolutely beautiful. It's actually exactly along the same lines that we were talking about on this YouTube channel over these last few days, because more or less what we've seen here is Bitcoin testing continuously the same level on this chart, which hasn't actually been particularly problematic for Bitcoin. If we go back to the price action that we saw earlier this year, we've flipped this level many times. So if you've been watching, if you've been subscribed, you're actually going to know that this is not the problematic area that, Bitcoin, was up against, that probably a lot of other people thought in this market. So we did get that nice breakout here, and it's actually worked out really well for Bitcoin. What we've done here now, if we take a look at this on the 4-hour time frame, is we have conclusively broken out of this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, and what we've done even more after that is actually gone ahead and close this out, and we are starting to see some support. Basically, it's going to start developing here more or less like today or tomorrow. Like very soon we're going to start seeing some support on the Ichimoku cloud, which is going to be really good towards the end of the month, because what we're going to see is that if we do whatever we have to do up here, maybe we get rejected, if we come back down towards the end of September, we are going to start to see support in this area now instead of resistance. And we can already see that with the EMA ribbon. I mean, yet again, just one of the most fucking reliable indicators in the market. It is giving us just bounce after bounce, just telling us that we are in a good spot right now, which is absolutely fantastic. On the daily time frame, we've broken out of the daily EMA ribbon. Guys, I mean, this is it. We are in right now. I made a huge video talking to you guys about some really cool trade setups. You already know the deal. The best place to be trading these markets is Bybit, with the link in the description down below. They're giving you up to $30,000 in completely free trading capital. All you've got to do is start trading using my link, and you're going to get up to 30K in free trading ammunition. Throw that shit right back into the market. Any profits you generate are yours to keep. Very cool indeed. If Bybit's not for you, BingX is available with no KYC, no picture of yourself, no picture of your passport, and they are giving you access to traditional finance markets as well. You can trade Tesla, Apple, gold, Forex, whatever the fuck you like. They've got a lot of flexibility here, so go ahead and check them out if you are interested. Both of these absolutely great players in the space right now. And what we can see is that we have started to flip this daily EMA ribbon as well now. Now we're going to come back to all of that in just a second, but what I want to do is focus this on the very short-term time frame here. What we've seen, this should come as no surprise, again, if you've been watching this YouTube channel, is that we have broken out of this resistance level because we were constantly challenging it over these last few days, and we are now starting to brush against the next area of resistance, and this is Bitcoin's real resistance. This is actually where Bitcoin needs to stand up straight and pay some attention, because if we don't actually break above this area of resistance, we're not really going to achieve anything, and that's for a few different reasons. Now the first one is obviously this is more or less where Bitcoin topped out before, towards the end of August. So it's going to be a point of contention. I mean, this is going to be one of those areas where people rightfully perhaps are going to be taking profits. They're going to be entering short positions and so on and so forth. So, we need to watch out for this. This is where we previously got rejected. So, let's make sure that we don't do that now. Like I said, if we do, we're not even in that bad of a position, because we're going to have some really nice support developing as well. And, by the way, one of the reasons that we've closed up the resistance cloud here, and, the reason that we didn't do that previously is because this run up has taken some time. I mean, from the low to where we are right now, it's actually been basically a week of trending up now, and that's not something that you could have said for Bitcoin before. This was just one that happened basically in 4 hours, 8 hours, this whole pump here. So completely different kind of approach to the market here. I mean, unsustainable here, very sustainable over here, so we've done way better this time. We're in a much stronger position. Again, we'll come back to all of that stuff in just a minute, but I think that's important to step back and appreciate. I've talked to you guys a lot about this range on the chart, though. If we go ahead and take a chart which has a little bit less drawings, I mean, here's something else that's interesting, by the way. We've had this kind of falling wedge pattern on the chart for some time. I was talking about this again in the most recent video. So if you are subscribed, if you are throwing up those likes, thank you all so much. You're going to know about that very well. And this, daily time frame, even 4-hour time frame falling wedge pattern, the same pattern that we broke out of in a bullish way earlier in June, we have now seen a confirmed breakout over here. I mean, from the breakout point to the current price, we're now up by over 3%. So, generally, depending on what kind of definitions you have for a breakout, you're either looking for a 1% move or a 3% move, and we've now got both. So, I'm loving that. I am very happy with that indeed. I think that's putting Bitcoin in a good place. But again, this is the main area that Bitcoin is now up against. And if we actually take a look at this, we can start to gain an appreciation, a sense of appreciation for why. Because, if you look at this green box right here, this is where we've seen a lot of reversals in the market. I mean, the market was just absolutely just, dropping lower in free fall right here, minus 12% within a week. And the dump ends only at this level, and it produces a nice big pump to the upside. And when we're looking at certain levels and we want to establish, well, okay, well, how important is this level? How significant is this level? How formidable is this resistance area? One of the best ways that we can actually understand that is by simply seeing, well, number one, does this price level trigger reversals? Number two, how big are those reversals? So if we come back to the chart here, does the price level trigger reversals? Fuck yes, it does. Number two, how big are those reversals? Well, typically you're ranging from like here, like 3%, 4% here, 9% here. This was a full swing. This was a full 10% swing right here, 11% swing. And what happens when you overcome the area? If you just shoot past the area, do you pump by a little bit or do you pump by a lot? You can ask these kind of questions to try and determine how significant it is for the market if we actually get above this level. I mean, when we got above the level over here, look at how high we shot up, fairly quickly afterwards. We did take a bit of a roundabout approach to get there. This whole price range has been quite a frustrating one as well, to be honest. But this shouldn't come as a surprise to you. It's actually been one of the big theories that I put out to you guys. You guys know that I love to level with you. I mean, I'm here to make money. You're here to make money. We're on the same page here, thankfully. And when we come in, when we come into the market with that kind of approach, we can be very realistic about what's going on. And one of the things I was telling you guys about, even though I didn't like saying it, and I knew that you didn't like saying it, you didn't like hearing it. And this is the thing, right? Like you gotta understand, guys. I mean, the best thing I could do to put money in my pocket is just tell you everything you want to fucking hear. I'd be 10 times more famous and probably 50 times richer, but I'm not doing that. And the truth of the market is a lot of the time, it's just a shit thing. You just trade sideways. It's just how it is. And so what I was talking about, when we were kind of in these highs up around over here, is that, Bitcoin could very well do something a little bit like this. And we are now very much kind of on track for that. We've basically made it halfway up from the support level to the resistance level here. So, if we carry this path up, we're doing the same thing again now, even if we, take a slightly more scenic route to get there. So this is important to keep in mind. This is definitely an important area of resistance. Like I said, it was the same area that Bitcoin struggled at before. So it's going to be really important to see how Bitcoin responds to it now. But if we are able to get above it, we're going to clear a lot of resistance. And there isn't really going to be anything that I think should stop Bitcoin from rising higher. You can actually really see this quite clearly where, these two price levels between these two green boxes are pretty interesting levels here. I mean, when you get the pump off this level, you go up to the next one. When you drop down below, you go down to the next one, and so on, so forth. Quite a lot, quite a lot. And there are definitely a good number of exceptions. So, we could do something like this again and kind of come back down. But a lot of the time what we've seen is that when you clear this level, you are up to the next one. And when you lose this level, you are down to the next one. So, this opens up really nice open kind of liquidity gaps in the market where it gets a little bit easier to trade, basically. And you guys know that that's where I live. That's basically my favorite kind of trade. I'm in a ridiculous amount of profit on my Tron trade right now. Let me just go ahead and take a look at this and maybe even show it on screen for you guys. I'm super, super happy with the performance on my Tron trade right now. I've closed out a bunch of it and I'm still sitting in 90% profit right now, which is absolutely beautiful. So I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if that's angled towards the camera properly, but that is an absolutely beautiful 90% profit on my Tron trade right there. And I'm, I'm showing you guys absolutely everything. Here's my Bitcoin trade. Here's my Tron trade. You guys have been seeing this as this has been developing. You already know the deal. I share the details of all of my trades with VIP members with that link down below. That is still 50% off. So go ahead and check that out before we do close that out. We are going to be closing it out this week. So definitely take advantage of it before that sale is over. And of course, like I said, I'm trading only in the best places, guys. I'm super serious about my finance. I'm super serious about where I trade, how I trade. And that means for me, I need to be trading on the best and nothing else, nothing second, nothing third. Bybit is the best. I can say that with complete confidence. I knew this before I started working with them, and I sure as hell know this now looking around at the industry. Bybit is the best place to be putting my capital, at least. And if you want to trade on the same platform I'm using, but also get paid to do it by getting thousands of dollars for free that you can trade with, then you can check it out with the link in the description down below. Like I said, any trade you want, anything you want to do with that free money, it is yours. You can trade with it, you can do whatever you like, and if you generate any profits, they are yours to keep. But if we come back to the market here, like I said, you guys know that my favorite kind of trade is these, kind of big liquidity gaps. Tron is potentially about to break out. It's really interesting what's happening to Tron, actually. It's still been gaining strength against Bitcoin, proving itself to be a very, very good trade. Just look at this massive rally against Bitcoin here. I mean, just absolutely spectacular, up by 37%. Lots and lots of money to have been made here. It is pulling back a little bit now, which is fantastic. We've seen a mostly uninterrupted run for 2 weeks, up by 16%. Again, against Bitcoin, so this is quite a lot. We are starting to see a little bit of a pullback now, which is absolutely fantastic. And if we can capture support wherever, I don't want to do too much analysis on this chart. I will then be expecting that kind of move to the upside to follow. And if we do look at Tron against the dollar here, I mean, yeah, super happy with its performance, just right up against this resistance area. I mean, if this thing blows up from here, I mean, it's very hard to say how far it can go. Certainly it could top out quickly or not so quickly, but the space that this coin has to rocket up from here is fucking crazy. There's no other way to put it. A lot of headroom here, for Tron. I'm not even going to talk about it. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I have still got that position running. I've already secured beautiful profits up to this point, so I'm very happy with where I'm at as well with this trade. I did talk to you guys yesterday about Cardano and how it was at a beautiful buy range, and we can already start to see that coming into fruition here as well. I will be going back to the Bitcoin chart in just a second, so bear with me if that's what you're most interested in. But this is where money is very, very easy to be made. So that's where I'm going to live. Obviously, that's where I like to be. We've seen a nice move up on Cardano already. I was talking about potentially some sort of like 5x trade setup that would have already net 15% profit or so. So pretty nice. It is still moving slowly, I won't lie. I mean, if we look at this against the Bitcoin chart, it is not strong, right? I mean, the Bitcoin chart tells you everything you need to know about how weak Cardano is and has been. But of course, where you find weakness, you find opportunity, especially if things are so shit like they are for Cardano. And from that perspective here, I'm not saying that this is going to take off. One thing that I need you to keep in mind is that Cardano is only down this low because it's fundamentally in a very weak position. Those fundamentals will need to change at least a little bit, if not a lot, for Cardano to pump up massively. But Cardano is not the only one. A lot of these coins have seen a beating over the last few weeks, and now maybe not now, but as of when I made the video, which was yesterday, we are seeing more opportunity across these markets. So this is about to get very, very interesting. I've already outlined a trade with VIP members on the S&P 500. That trade, unfortunately, I can't do on Bybit, so I'm doing it on BingX because BingX allows me access to traditional finance markets again without KYC, just with Bitcoin, which is very, very cool indeed. So that is something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I do want to come back to Bitcoin here though, and talk to you a little bit more about the kind of position Bitcoin has now put itself in, which I think is actually quite impressive, a really, really good position, for Bitcoin to find itself in. We are looking at a really nice breakout of that kind of wedge now. We are kind of starting to hit this major area of resistance, but again, the key thing is that we have broken that resistance on the 4 hour. On the daily time frame, we've still got a window of opportunity. Our resistance cloud really only thickens around the middle of October, which means that if we do kind of tackle this area now, at least we don't have more resistance at the same place, right? I mean, we do have the 200-day moving average, so please keep this in mind. The 200-day moving average is a phenomenal display of support and a phenomenal display of resistance. So it is something to keep in mind. It is something to pay attention to. It's not something I would brush off casually or easily, but at the same time, I don't think that Bitcoin is in a super weak position. But I just, we don't want to get too confident as we approach really important resistance levels. So I think, especially, I mean, I haven't really looked at it yet, but if we look at things like the 4Flies dashboard, it obviously hasn't updated yet with the with Fear and Greed Index. It only updates once a day, but you know, I mean, if we start seeing this thing just massively push, you know, to the other side, let's see how long it takes, because my time zones keep on changing. I don't even know where the fuck I am in the world. We've got 10 hours left on this. So, you know, I mean, if we see the fear and greed index jump into greedy territory, you know, we're in the high 50s, the low 60s, something like that, within these next kind of 10, 11 hours, then we're, you know, then you've got to start paying attention. You've got to sit up and kind of look at this, because that could put Bitcoin in a pretty dangerous spot. You know, the reason I'm saying that is because, I mean, you know, 10, 11 hours from now, if we get that update on the fear and greed index, and as we're approaching these kind of heavy resistance areas, this is not where you want to be super optimistic, right? I mean, you want to be optimistic when I was optimistic, when we were down at the support level. This is what I was telling you guys, is like, I know that, you know, you think the market is bearish, and, you know, you're right to think that. There is a lot of things that are bearish in the market, you know, but what I was telling you guys is that until we fucking break the support level, I'm not going to start panicking with you. And that's the same thing I kept on saying in the market every single day. Like a broken record. There was nothing else to say. Why would I change my opinion? The market wasn't telling me anything else. The market wasn't showing me anything else. So I kept on telling you guys the straight facts that I was seeing. And obviously, if you ground yourself in those facts, if you ground yourself in the knowledge you have as a technical analyst, instead of the emotions you have in your shitty fucking Discord, Telegram groups, then you're going to be good. And you're going to know that support is support. And sure as shit, resistance is resistance too. So obviously, you know, this is where I want to start exercising a little bit more caution. This is not saying that I don't want to make money off this. You already know the deal. I've been in a phenomenal long position for a while on Bitcoin, and that's not changing. So I've actually made a lot more profit on this Bitcoin position since I took this picture here, which is beautiful. I've already more than doubled my money on this position. You know, so I would love to see that. And it's also, you know, a strong sign that this is coming in on a Monday. I mean, the fact that we're seeing this on a Monday is a really good sign. It's telling us that this could be a bullish week for Bitcoin in general. We've already seen a bullish last week for Bitcoin. The dollar is still super high. You know, the S&P 500 is looking like it's in the same good place that it's been in for the last couple of weeks, if not months. So I don't, you know, I'm not seeing horrible signs right now. What I was seeing a few days ago was people were overly fucking bearish at a support level. And that's what I was telling you guys about. And I will be paying attention now to see if people start to swing the other way, because they always swing late. They're just idiots. They're stupid. They're bad traders. They're bad investors. Most people are. They always are. And that's why, again, I've always been telling you guys this. You'll know this if you've been subscribed for a while. If you constantly find yourself agreeing with every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the market, then you're probably a losing trader, and that's because they are. So if you agree with them, you know what I mean. Like you can fill in the blanks here. Long and short ratio pulled back beautifully here on the 4Flies dashboard. We're now looking at a ratio of 1.4 longs for every short, so it's still excessively high. Way too excessively high. Honestly, we want to see something like this at most. You know, but these are retail traders, so take that for what it's worth. You know, it does still need to pull back, and you know, obviously it puts us in a weird position if we haven't actually done that. Hang on, let me just make sure that this is up to date. Because is there another G20 summit? This might actually be incorrect. I don't know if the G20, because we already did the G20 summit, right, in India. So I don't know. But these, you know, Bybit, Binance data, top traders for Binance and Bybit, you know, traders, quite mixed. So it's in a good place. We're just gonna have to watch this and see how it develops. It's something to keep an eye on. You know, it's not something that I would want to base my trades off entirely. Obviously, the main thing, as always, even though I love the 4Flies dashboard and find it beautifully valuable, it's still not ready, by the way. I know you guys are asking me about it. It's still not ready. We're working on the back end and stuff like that. You know, even though I think it's absolutely stunning and very useful, you know, it is still going to be secondary to my main analysis, and that's, you know, I don't think that's going to change unless I have something very different in terms of my approach to the market. But for now, this works, and it works incredibly well, incredibly consistently. So why change the formula? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to keep on watching for. I'm going to be looking for, you know, if we get rejected, we're going to probably have some really nice support with things like the EMA ribbons. Just this level here, you know, this sideways level here that we found resistance at could and should be support if we come back down. So, you know, and that's what we want to see. We don't want to just keep on moving up and up and up and up. We want to get, you know, this kind of, you know, kind of steady, you know, corrections on the way up in order to, you know, maybe take a little bit longer, take that scenic route, but that's what allows the price action to stick, right? And we've seen that beautifully demonstrated in this market already. I mean, you know, we had a massive correction and then a big move up and then a big correction and then a big move up. So now we're in a mega big correction, you know, and everybody's super bearish. So again, I mean, you know, you tell me, man. You know, you know how I like to think, and we've been 100% correct about the market so far. I've got tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of profits to show for it. You know, I'm saying this and I'm trading it. I'm walking the walk while I'm talking the talk, and that's what we're all about right here on this YouTube channel. So there you go. I hope you have enjoyed this one. You know exactly what to do. If you have, hit up the subscribe button, tick the bell, like button, whatever, you know the deal. Check out the beautiful offers available to you with the links in the description down below, and I'm going to see you all in the very next video. Cheers.